Hello everyone, this is my 7-round NFL mock draft for the Denver Broncos using PFF's mock draft simulator. Thank you for coming and showing up. Now, one quick note before we begin. This is a GM mock draft. That means that I'm acting as the GM. I'm pretending to be John Elway today, and I'm picking the players and the positions that I feel would really help the Denver Broncos. This is not in any sort of way a prediction or what I think John Elway will actually do in this draft. This is just what I would do if I were the GM. Okay, with that out of the way, let's jump right in. At number 15, I stayed put, and I took Jalen Reagor, wide receiver out of TCU, Texas Christian University, I believe. So I'm a huge fan of Mr. Reagor. He's got elite speed. He can run more than one kind of route, I think. But you look at his tape, and the quarterback is not always throwing him the ball. I mean, it's not like he's targeted a million times, but when he does get targeted and it's an accurate throw, he's catching it a lot of times, and often it's way down the field. He's making like huge gains. So what's there to love? I love the way that he attacks the ball in the air, the way that he catches it with his hands. He's got really good leaping ability. He's not the biggest guy in the world. He's about 5'10" or 5'11", like 190. So that's a little bit of a knock on him. But overall, he's just a really fast, good deep threat, good ball skills. I think he can run more than just the fade route, and you can use him in different ways. I think he's tremendous value. Well, I've said that a million times, tremendous value. Anyway, here at 15, he's not necessarily tremendous value. He's more so just a really solid pick because Henry Ruggs, the third, was already off the board, and the other two, Judy and CeeDee Lamb, were off the board as well. So he was the next best option. I could have maybe went cornerback here, but I think wide receiver or cornerback, you can't really go wrong for the Broncos at 15. Moving on, at selection number 46, I took Ezra Cleveland, tackle, Boise State. I'm not sure if he's even going to last this long. He might slip into the first round because he tested really well at the combine. And then when you look at his tape, he is solid. He will give up a bit of pressure once in a while, but he's more consistent and better in pass pro than Mekhi Becton, I feel. And the Broncos could use a tackle, I think. Garrett Bowles is just really average. And the other guy they got right tackle is what? Jawan James. He's a really average guy as well. So Cleveland, I think, can play either one of the tackle spots, and just he's going to either, like, put it this way, he either plays or the guys that are playing above him are going to be playing at a good level. So I feel good with this selection. It adds some nice competition to that group in Denver, and it's not a huge need, but I didn't really want to just keep taking. If you've watched any of my other mock drafts, I just constantly take Jordan Elliott in about this range between 40 and 55 because he's like always available, and I didn't want to just constantly take that guy. Plus, I don't think Elliott really fits in the 3-4 scheme that Vic Fangio runs there in Denver. I don't think he fits that scheme nearly as well as like a 4-3, 3-tech defensive tackle. So anyway, let's move on to pick 66. I selected Willie Gay Jr., linebacker out of Mississippi State. He's another guy that I love a lot. First time I watched his tape, I didn't really like him very much because I was focusing on his run game stopping ability, and he often, or too often for my taste, he took bad angles on the ball. Sometimes it would result in boom, he looks like Kenneth Murray, or maybe, well, not even really Patrick Queen, but he looks like Kenneth Murray just coming down and smacking people sometimes, but it was not consistent. His angles are really poor too often. He would get really close to the guy, but then he wouldn't tackle him. He would pursue and chase, but the guy would gain another 10, 15 yards because he didn't stuff the player right there in the hole. So I didn't like him for that run aspect, that run defense aspect. Then I started focusing more on his pass coverage protection and his blitzing ability. And when you look at those two things for him, he's really good at both of those things, because if he's blitzing one of the, I don't know if that's the A gap or the B gap or which one, but if he's blitzing like up the middle, like between the guard and center on either side, he just flies. Just boom, looks like a bullet, or well, maybe that's a bad analogy, but he just flies through that hole and he gets on the quarterback in a hurry. So I really like his blitzing ability, and he's got good movement skills, he's got good speed, he's got good athletic characteristics to really cover people. And so if you're looking for a linebacker to cover and blitz more, he's your guy. And at 66, if his character concerns don't come to fruition, then he's like a top 20 talent, top 15. I don't want to say top 15, but he's like a top 20, 25 player in this draft, certainly. It's just he had a limited number of snaps, and there's some character concerns because he cheated on a chemistry test and maybe one or two other things that are scaring teams away. So, okay. And then moving on, pick number 77, I took Kayvon Wallace, cornerback out of Clemson University. He's another guy that I like a lot. I think he would fit into Fangio's scheme because he could play as a slot cornerback. They just lost Chris Harris Jr. They need cornerback depth, certainly. And he's going to be a good slot corner. If Vic tries to play Wallace as a free safety type, or even just a safety, it's not going to work out too well. He's really, Kayvon Wallace is really a player that you have to utilize properly to really get a benefit from him on the field, and that would be as a slot cornerback, kind of playing an off or zone coverage, and then he makes play after play after play. Very solid tackler, very, very good player, I would say. But you stick him as a safety in kind of the deep middle, he misses too many tackles. He doesn't read plays. He's not as instinctual as when he's in the slot corner position. So I really like him there at number 77, and it's a good position that Denver needs. At 83, I selected Cole Kmet, tight end, Notre Dame University. He's a guy that, honestly, I'm pretty lukewarm on, but there wasn't a lot of great options. Even at the pick 77 with Kayvon Wallace, that's kind of a little rich for my blood. I like to take him 80 to 100. And Cole Kmet here, I was really kind of struggling to find a position and a player available, trying to find that kind of fit. And so I just went with Kmet. The reason why is he's a different player than Noah Fant, so if they want to do any two tight end looks, he can block better than Fant, and he's a good he's good at like picking up 4 or 5 yards, like these dumb slow crossing routes. He'll get those all day long. So if like you want to pass on third and 5 or something like that, second and 3, he picks up first downs. He's not going to be great down the field at all, but you got Noah Fant already to do that anyway. I think he's decent value there. If in real life, if a different player falls, I could see them going in a different direction. But it's, like I said, it's not good. It's not bad. Moving on, at 118, I take Michael Ojemudia, cornerback, University of Iowa. I think he would fit in with the defense there, with a zone look. They play a lot of zone at Iowa, if I remember correctly. He would be a solid player. They need outside cornerback, so Wallace would be the slot corner. Ojemudia would be one of the two outside corners. So from that perspective, it fits to get those two guys. They certainly need secondary help. They got Justin Simmons as a fantastic safety, but cornerback is lacking there, I would say. Okay, two more picks. 181, I selected Darrell Williams, guard, Mississippi State. He's another one of these group of a couple of guards, centers, interior linemen that I like near the end of the draft. They're good. I think they're good value because they're going to be depth players. I mean, they're going to be, like second string guys, maybe even an average starter if you need. So he can play center or guard. Those are not huge needs in any regard because they have Dalton Reisner and Graham Glasgow as their two guards. And then they have Schlutman or Austin. Sorry, I forget their center. But that's why I took Darrell Williams here, is because I looked up who their center was, the Broncos, and I'm like, who's this guy? Maybe he's really good, and I just haven't heard of him. But if not, then Darrell Williams can step in there and give some competition to improve that line at center. Finally, we have pick 254, the second to the last selection in the NFL draft. Here, I took Jalen Elliott, safety, University of Notre Dame. Why I took him, I was really struggling to find anyone I liked at all. And I think he's rated something like top 150 on PFF's big board. So I'm like, look here, they could use some safety depth. He's a top 150 guy on the big board at PFF. What the hell? Let's just give it a shot, because I haven't really seen very much footage of him. So I just went with their perspective and trusted that and went, yeah, maybe it'll work out. So overall, I just like to say that of all these prospects, I try to watch at least minimum 2 games of videos of them on YouTube, watching every snap that they have, like their versus whatever opponent it is, and I watch closely snap by snap by snap. I watch all their plays from that game. Okay, and just to wrap this up, while this is going pretty late, but I want to say thank you very much if you've made it all the way through here. I'm just talking and you're listening, obviously. A duh statement of the week there, but I just want to thank everyone that listens, even if you listen for 1 or 2 minutes. I mean, this is a new channel. I don't have a lot of views, and I'm just trying to get my stuff out there and just see what people think. I just want to get my opinion out there and let my voice be heard. So thank you very much. Really appreciate you sticking with me, and you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.